Welcome back to part 2 and a look back at Battlestar Galactica, the original 1978 series. And we're looking at the movie Saga of a Lost World. I think I forgot to mention that in part 1. Anyway, this is the second time that I'm doing it since by mistake, I deleted the first attempt. So anyhow, now that they've reached Carolon, they found some deposits of tellurium, but they also run into what looks like a kind of like an oasis, a gambling casino kind of thing, a huge resort where there already are a small group of humans over there. The casino and the complex is actually, the nearby mine is actually run by an insectoid species known as the Ovions, and they seem to have nothing to do with anything else. They just want to serve the humans. There's dinner, there's dancing, there's a lot of food, there's a lot of gambling, and the colonials don't seem to be able to lose. They're making a lot of money. It's like a paradise. So I forgot to mention that one of the survivors, his name is Serena. She was one of the reporters. She and her son Boxy, her husband she doesn't have a husband. And in fact, they're not really said, but I don't think he was there in the picture at all. She is raising her son Boxy. She takes the help of Apollo to help this kid Boxy, because he lost his pet, which they call it a daggett, but it's basically like a dog. And Apollo helps him, even gets one of their scientists who was planning to have since they didn't have any trained daggets or dogs, what they call them, he comes up with an electronic version of it. And it was, in fact, in the series is actually a chimpanzee in a suit. But yeah, they call it a daggett, a robot kind of thingy. And it cheers up the kid quite a lot. So he and Serena have formed a sort of bond along with the kid, and there's a romance aspect, going on among them as well. So once they're on planet Carolon, they start. Let me get a drink of water. They start settling in. A group of humans come down. They start gorging themselves on food. They enjoy the festivities. They enjoy gambling. Everybody's having a fun time. However, Adama isn't quite convinced. He feels that this is a trap. However, one of the new members of the council, a powerful politician by the name of Yuri, I don't remember the actor's name, but I believe he was an award-winning actor from yesteryears. He's got a large group of his friends and people who are very influential. He stocked up on a lot of food and drink, and didn't want to initially share it with the rest of the fleet, but Apollo kind of went and forced his hand, and so he decides, along with the remaining group of the new Council of 12, that they can actually get rid of their weapons, and they can get rid of their ships and settle on Carolon, because they have everything that they require. They've got food, they've got drink, seemingly endless supply of things that they need. However, Dama isn't convinced, and neither is Apollo, by the way. So it turns out that the Ovions are actually working along with the Cylons. The Cylons are hidden, and the reason why the Ovions want to help the Cylons is because they use humans as food, but currently we don't know it. So there's a festivity going on where the council is planning to honor the three warriors who led them to Carolon, taking a huge risk. And at that time, Adama decides that this is the best moment, because Yuri and his people will not know all the warriors. So he sends maintenance crew. He sends mechanics and all that dressed in the colonial warriors, in the uniforms, and they go down and attend the ceremony, kind of like a secret mission, while the actual pilots are waiting just to see if the Cylons will attack. Except for the three of them, Apollo, Starbuck, and Boomer, along with Serena, Cassiopeia, and who's the third one? Athena. Serena, Athena, and Cassiopeia. They are on the planet. So they discover that this is a trap. There's a fight out, and they shoot at all the. There's a big shootout. A few humans do actually die. They were secretly capturing small groups of humans and processing them for food. It is Boxy and his electronic Daggett that actually slip in there by mistake, and along with Cassiopeia, and they're captured. While looking for them, Starbuck and Apollo run into them, and they start shooting, and they discover that there are the Cylons along with them. So Cylons are planning an attack, and in the end, what happens is the soldiers are the warriors are still there in their ship, so they're able to launch an attack, and they blow up the planet, destroying a majority of the Cylons raiders as well as the huge mothership of the base ship of the Imperious leader. He is also killed. Baltar is still with them, and in the initial run, they actually show that Baltar is killed, because the Imperious leader doesn't want any humans to survive, and he has his head chopped off. However, they do change the ending later on when they show it in series that he decides to spare Baltar's life and give him his own command, and tell him your duty is to wipe out the rest of the humanity that has survived. Baltar himself is aware that they are probably heading to Earth, so he is now in the position of being kind of like second in command other than the Imperious leader. However, if he makes a mistake, his life might not be spared. So as we end the particular series, or rather the three-parter pilot episode or the movie, whichever way you want to look at it, the rest of humanity is now heading back. They've got a supply of fuel, they've got some food that they managed to get from the planet, and the planet is no longer, the Carolon is no longer, it's destroyed, killing all the Omions and whichever Cylons were remaining there. And they are making their way back to, on their way back to finding Earth. They just have a brief idea of where Earth is. So that thus ends the television series. As a movie, as a standalone movie, you want to look at it as a television movie or a theatrical release, it's pretty good. I think compared to the rest of the television series, television episodes, I think this movie does actually can hold its ground against all sort of classic science fiction. I know the special effects and everything else might look dated, but the fact is, because they use humans in the suits for the Cylons, it actually makes, there's no problem in there. So special effects wise, I don't think there's much of a problem. Yes, it is kind of outdated and things like that. But yeah, as a nostalgic look back, it never can go wrong. So for those fans, including me, who have seen this as a kid, or some people seen it when they were much older, this definitely is a nostalgic favorite. And I think even later fans who have never seen it before, I think if you watch it, you will be I think you'll be really happy with the show as such, because it is pretty good. The theme music is awesome. The acting, I think nothing really stands out, but I think Lord Green does play this amazing role of a patriarch who's got the surviving humanity on his shoulder, because he is kind of responsible for taking care of them, and he plays that role pretty well. I mean, he is not just a father to his two remaining children, Apollo and Athena, but even Starbuck is kind of like a son to him. And pretty soon, Serena and Boxy is also, near and dear to him, as well as several others. He finds the entire, all the people under his command. He is kind of like a father figure. So, and Richard Hatch and Doug Benedict play those swashbuckling heroes in a great way. And there's a little contrast there. While you have all action oriented Doug Benedict's Starbuck as kind of the more romantic hero, the kind of that jumps into situations and is he's the cowboy, he is the playboy kind of figure. You have the more family oriented Apollo, who is more sensible, who is more calm, who's more collected, less of a hothead, and in Apollo. So I think that puts a great balance, and you can't forget the supporting role performed by Boomer, Herbert Jefferson Jr., as well as the ladies who are, I mean, um, Serena is played by Jane Seymour, and she looked amazing. I mean, she was absolutely gorgeous, beautiful. I can't really state anything more on that. I mean, she was absolutely, and as is Marilyn Jensen, as is Lawrence Frank, they were all absolutely stunning women. But I think my eyes, at that particular series, in this particular point, my eyes were completely on Jane Seymour because she was absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that there's so much going on in this show, in this television series, especially the movie. I think because it was kind of expensive for its time. It was like 8 million, and to be honest, I think it stands up still now. Okay. So there was a little controversy where people said this actually resembles. There's a lot of similarity with Star Wars. I don't really think so. I mean, there is something to do with the color schemes, the Vipers and all that. They look very similar to the Vipers or the whatever those ships are on Star Wars. The color schemes are all the same, and a lot of the special effects team that worked on Star Wars and New Hope did work on Battlestar Galactica as well. They just separated by a year. So yes, there is that element, I suppose, but story-wise, it's very, very different. I believe Glenn A. Larson, who came up with this concept, who came up with the story, he actually based some of it on Mormon mythology, and the thing about the 12 tribes and all that stuff is basically from his religion. But having said that, it still is a matter of fact. I mean, it still is basically humanity trying to survive against a more powerful ally who outnumber them basically, and now they're less in number, having the colonies being destroyed, and just a group of survivors left. They're really running for their lives in space. So I think that's something that anybody can actually admire and love, and you will definitely like it. Please do watch it. As a movie, I would probably give this an 8.5 out of 10, especially considering the fact it was came out in 1978. 78, 79, 79, I believe. And even now, I still consider this movie as something that I can easily watch anytime I want to. So I've probably seen this, I don't know, 25, 30, 50 times maybe, I don't know. I'm not really sure compared to the rest of the series, because I actually had a DVD of just the movie, a cheap DVD long ago, I think sometime in 2003 as well, and I had a VHS tape of the show recorded, so I used to watch that quite a lot, and on a streaming service as well I have watched some of the episodes, but this one in particular I think I've seen quite the most, so I'm guessing it's at least a minimum of 50 times, from a 4-year-old kid to now, to a 43-year-old. Anyhow, so that's it for the pilot episode, the 3-parter, the movie Saga of the Lost World as far as Battlestar Galactica goes, and I'll come back pretty soon with the remaining episodes. I must tell you one thing, since I actually shot the review earlier, and I'm doing it as a redo, the next episode you will actually see me with a full set of beard, or at least a French beard, because I shot it a few days ago before I shaved it off. So it might look a little odd, but excuse me for that. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.